An alliance is forming in the Sahel as Tuareg rebels in northern Mali reportedly align themselves with Ukraine.
Someone may be trying to start a war in West Africa, a war that would potentially drag in Russia and NATO. Here's some context. So in July 2023, following its revolutionary coup and the subsequent attempted military invasion by Nigeria, Niger aligned itself with its neighbors Burkina Faso and Mali into something called the Alliance of Sahelian States, which adopted new geopolitical and security partnerships with Russia, Turkey, and North Korea, among others. So you had these guys on one hand, and then at the other end of the ideological spectrum in West Africa, you had the likes of Nigeria, Benin, and Cote d'Ivoire, which were and are very much Western aligned. And sitting at the physical and metaphorical center of this tinderbox is Ghana. Now in January, Ghana's new president, John Mahama, embarked on a diplomatic charm offensive. You might recall when these images went viral as Ibrahim Traoré visited Ghana for Mahama's presidential inauguration. Since then, the Ghanaian port of Tema has become a key port for the landlocked Sahelian alliance, and Mahama has deepened that partnership while still maintaining close diplomatic partnership between Ghana and its Western aligned neighbors like Nigeria. Basically, Mahama's Ghana is the diplomatic glue that maintains peace and regional stability in West Africa. But here's where a third party comes in. So if you recall, in July 2024, suspiciously well-armed terrorists in northern Mali ambushed a group of Malian soldiers and Russian private military contractors, killing at least 47 Malians and 84 Russian. In the aftermath, Ukraine proudly claimed credit for facilitating this attack as part of its purported global war on Russia. The Sahelian alliance promptly dispatched the complaints to the UN Security Council and cut all diplomatic ties with Ukraine. Now fast forward 12 months, and on July 11, 2025, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky tweeted this, claiming that Ghana had agreed multiple sovereign deals with Ukraine, including buying Ukrainian drones and deploying Ukrainian soldiers to protect Ghana's borders. For context, Ghana has a northern border with Burkina Faso that stretches over 600 kilometers. So if you're in the Sahelian alliance and you've cut off all diplomatic ties with Ukraine because they helped terrorists murder 47 of your soldiers, how would you interpret a neighboring country you share 600 kilometers with agreeing to import Ukrainian drones and troops and then to protect its borders? From who exactly? You see where this is going. Well, it turned out that Zelensky made the whole thing up. There was no such agreement. While he did have a private telephone conversation with John Mahama, he thoroughly mischaracterized it on Twitter. And he did so very publicly in a way that was calculated to create the maximum possible diplomatic friction between Ghana and its Sahelian neighbors. In fact, a number of news platforms even erroneously picked up the false story. But that wasn't all. Almost concurrently as this was happening, a video started making the rounds across Ghanaian social media, depicting a Nigerian man declaring a plan to create a Nigerian ethnic kingdom inside Ghana. And while this was happening, an obviously inorganic hashtag, Nigeria must go, which was being pushed by a network of bot accounts, also began doing the rounds. And in fact, this botnet began promoting a purported public demonstration to demand the expulsion of Nigerians from Ghana. Some accounts within this botnet even attempted to inflame tensions further by them pretending to be Nigerians calling for a military invasion of Ghana. Thankfully, Ghana's foreign minister waded in and doused the controversy, revealing that the video making the rounds was an old video recorded in 2013. Exactly how this video was stripped of all its identifying context and repurposed into viral fuel for a clearly inauthentic online political action campaign remains unclear. Now, about a week before all of this happened, Frida Anong, a diplomat working at Ghana's High Commission in Nigeria, was brutally tortured and murdered on her way home from work in Abuja. And then just a few days after this, the official residence of Ghana's ambassador to Nigeria in Abuja suffered a burglary. It almost seemed like a deliberate sequence of events intended to simultaneously infuriate the Ghanaian authorities and escalate anti-Nigerian sentiment among Ghanaian people. Now, these could all be random, unconnected, unfortunate events that so happened to take place within 11 days of each other in July 2025, but that would explain why someone paid for a social media bot campaign that tried to create international tensions in what is West Africa's oasis of stability. And why did Mr. Zelensky so publicly try to pit Ghana against its Sahelian neighbors? To what end? Because if you're a third party trying to start a war in West Africa, this is pretty much exactly how we'd go about it. You would go after the country that is a trusted trading partner and diplomatic ally of both the eastern-leaning Sahel and western-leaning Nigeria, and you would try to isolate and destabilize it by creating multiple diplomatic disputes with these allies, so that in the resulting leadership vacuum with that country out of the way, fireworks could then begin to fly. Thankfully, Ghana didn't bite the bait. Thank goodness for that.